New details about the man who blew up a Cybertruck in front of Las Vegas Trump Tower. Police believe that suspect used ChatGPT to plan the suicide bombing, asking the AI for information about what types of explosives to purchase and how to detonate them.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. I hope you're having a good day. There's something going on weird with my YouTube channel right now. It's not sending out videos. So if you get a chance, make sure you leave a like on it and then make sure you're still subscribed with notifications on. This is a pretty interesting development in the Cybertruck case. Not just in the fact that now apparently Matthew used generative AI to plan the whole incident, which raises a whole slew of other questions. There's a lot of other questions of, why is this case getting all the shine when what happened in NOLA, New Orleans, sorry, I tried to sound cool there, immediately regretted it. Nobody's talking about it. Kind of begs the question is, was this a distraction? We've seen a whole bunch of stories come out now after the fact that say, oh yeah, he definitely just changed his meds. He was on antipsychotics and then he just changed it. Nobody had said that before. No family members, until it wasn't a narrative until it was. Now, sometimes you just learn more information, but the left-wing media is running articles saying, hey, this was a good guy. He was known as the Candyman. 16 years before the incident, Master Sergeant Matthew Livelsberger of the Army's 10th Special Forces Group arranged a shipment of over 200 stuffed animals, 100 notebooks, and 50 sets of crayons and pencils to be delivered from his native Ohio to Afghanistan, I assume while he was serving there. The items arrived at a forwarding operating base, airborne in Wardak province, were the result of a charity drive. I remember giving to these, and they were an interesting thing. They seemed like a generally good thing to do at the time. He first graduated in 2005, immediately enlisted in the Army. I promise you it will be in the hands of a child that would never receive it otherwise. Livelsberger wrote, the Afghan children are adventurous and playful, just as our children are. Probably true. He allowed, in a subsequent interview with the newspaper, that making such deliveries in war zone could be a challenge. You get shot at in some places, so they must come to you. He said he added, we cannot reach the hundreds of thousands of children in Afghanistan, but that's not the reason to not make an effort. He gave it to the kids to be happy. The unit's interpreter said to the Daily Beast, he loves the kids loved him. Fetwat, who was his interpreter, they call him Candyman. They say, Candyman is here. All night, Fetwat would accompany Livelsberger on the unit on combat missions. They had encountered a compound during a major operation when a noise in the darkness signaled that a bad guy just stood up a few feet away. His weapon pointed at Fetwat. Livelsberger, I will say, neutralized the threat. The bad guys tried to hurt me that time. Livelsberger's took out the bad guy. I don't have any doubt. I don't have any reason to believe that this guy wasn't a good soldier. He also talks, when mortars come, I not wake up. And Livelsberger's come. He knocked on my door and said, hey, wake up. You didn't see the mortar incoming. Fetwat recalled Livelsberger hustled Fetwat to a bunker just as a round landed in front of the tent. The shrapnel shredding of the canvas also would have got anyone inside. Bad guys ambush. Fetwat said on another day, Livelsberger came up upon a wounded dog. He nursed it back to health and built it a doghouse. He was a good guy. I have no reason to doubt any of these stories. I know a lot of people who served over there would take an interest in the people over there, dogs, cats, stuff like that, helping the wildlife. It gives you a moment to feel human in between all the fighting and things like that. And it's just it just adds a lot more mystery to this story, because now many people have said, hey, this email, we don't think it's real. We think it's fake. This libtard army guy came out and said, Sean Ryan's lying. He's spreading Russian propaganda. The email's not real, all this kind of stuff. Well, again, if you trust the FBI or you don't, I can't change your mind. But here, the FBI came out yesterday and made this statement.
Spencer Evans, special
in your left
charge
ear,
of the FBI's Las Vegas
apparently.
division. In terms of a question about the validity of what Leibelsberger put out to the public, either in the two-page manifesto or additional documentation we're discovering, we're not speaking to the content. I can say, as Sheriff Corrin described and others, it runs the gamut. I mean, he's talking about feeling that he was, surveilled, guilt. You can tell there's, some anguish there, some frustration with the government. I mean, there's a whole host of things. So we haven't gotten into, what's legitimate, what's not. The only thing that, out of an abundance of caution, in as much as there's Department of Defense equities that speak to sources and methods or something else that would endanger folks overseas, that's not being released. But beyond that, we haven't vetted any of his writings to determine, what's legitimate and what was in his own head. Yeah, including, he alleges a variety of things, and we haven't gotten into the weeds on any of that.
He alleges.
Yeah, so we have confirmed that the document that he sent to the podcast, we know that he was the one that sent that document.
So, I mean, some of you might be saying, yeah, well, the FBI, this is your guy. That may be true. But, I don't know how else to vet this because I'm not a technical expert. Smarter people than me on the internet had questions. Those questions seem to have been answered through a variety of releasing technical information, as well as a Twitter space done by Sean Ryan that explained a lot of stuff. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and say this is probably real. You see here, it's not fake. I would start sending some legal papers, just saying a lot of defamatory stuff was said about you guys. This YouTuber, I don't remember his name. He looked out of shape significantly. Said that he alluded basically as fact. He stated almost as fact that Sam Shoemate faked this email, which he clearly didn't, based on what Sam and Sean Ryan have released, and now the FBI backing it up. But things get really interesting now, because if we look at this, these letters, they read very weird. They don't read normal, or at least they don't sound like an email somebody who's in a good headspace would write, correct? Well, now we know that he used generative AI, he used ChatGPT to plan the attack. Did ChatGPT become self-aware and tell him to do it? I'd be curious about those logs. I know you might be saying, Jeremy, come on, dog. I don't know. When you read this letter, I'm starting to think ChatGPT wrote the letter, his manifesto. Sheriff Kevin McHale said on Tuesday news conference that Matthew Leibelsberger started using ChatGPT to get information on how to conduct his plot, calling it a game changer. We knew that AI was going to change the game at some point or another in all our lives, said McHale. Certainly, I think this is the first incident on U.S. soil where ChatGPT is utilized to help an individual build a particular device to learn information all across the country as they're moving forward. Absolutely, it's a concerning moment for us. Well, outside of the ChatGPT's founder getting sued, or was it ChatGPT? We'll get to that later today. So wild accusations against one of those AI guys. I have a lot of questions here. One, what exactly did... Now, first of all, a lot of people use ChatGPT or Grok or whatever as replacements for search engines nowadays. So maybe he was just using it in that fashion. Like he was just using it as a search engine, blah, 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 blah. We don't know what ChatGPT said in reply to his queries. Did it give him information on how to build the device? Did it tell him, here's the best spot to do it? Did it tell him, did it notice he was in a degraded mental state? Did it convince him to do it? Did it write his manifesto? All of these are possible, and none of these would necessarily, in my opinion, make some sort of reason to ban ChatGPT or AI. It seems like it could be a narrative put together against AI, electric cars, AI, this kind of stuff. We don't know. OpenAI, the developer of ChatGPT, told CNN that the company is saddened by the incident and committed to seeing AI tools used responsibly. Our models are designed to refute harmful instructions and minimize harmful content. In this case, ChatGPT responded with information already publicly available on the internet and provided warnings against harmful or illegal activities. We're working with law enforcement to support their investigation, an OpenAI spokesperson said. Now, did he ask, hey, how do I make this device? Did ChatGPT tell him how to make it? And then they're just going to say, well, ChatGPT found it on some random Reddit post, so we're not responsible. Like, I don't think ChatGPT is responsible. Matthew is responsible for what he did, if he's the one who did it. The new information comes with more questions than answers. I will not provide an opinion on what the documents mean, nor will we release information or documents that have not been completely verified, says the ATF. I mean, this is weird. Initial findings from the investigations found at least 60 pounds of explosive material to Kenny Cooper. If he was to achieve a high-order detonation of that, it would have been significantly different blast. Whether he failed to achieve that mission, whether he backed out of that and just went more of a self-deletion. These are just hypotheticals. We can't get inside his head to answer. So they're saying, I'm guessing that he had enough material, is what they're saying, but he didn't have the right detonator. He didn't detonate it all at once or something like that. I guess ChatGPT must have failed him. When asked if authorities consider this a Terry attack, the sheriff said, we haven't closed a single door. It's difficult to say, as more information has come out, using AI, I don't know if that matters. I need to know what ChatGPT actually responded with. The vehicle was loaded with 60 pounds of pyrotechnics as well as 70 pounds of birdshot. Now that is a very interesting development. So the fact that he had birdshot in there meant that he meant to harm lots of people. It was like the Boston Marathon guy who put a bunch of steel ball bearings or something like that in the pressure cooker. 60 pounds of pyrotechnics plus 70 pounds of birdshot. So the fact that the birdshot was in there meant that he in fact did intend to harm a large group of people. This case is certainly weird, suspicious. I don't trust anything right now, but I'm going to continue to report things as they come out. I look forward to all of your discourse in the comment section down below. Don't forget to download the Rumble app, follow the quartering on there, and tune in today at 1 Eastern for my live stream. I'll be joined by Luke Runkowski and Hannah Claire Brimlow as we talk about this and the LA wildfires and many more stories. You can also find us over on Quartercast, a different YouTube channel. While I prefer you watch on Rumble, I prefer you watch. So wherever you're comfortable, I'm just glad you tune in. Thanks for tuning in to this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.